Hi guys, welcome back to another one of my videos, and in this video I'm gonna be showing you how I painted Jason on myself. Now I did this for Friday the 13th and it was super duper fun. So I'm gonna be starting off using Wolf White, and with this paint I'm gonna be painting on my white mask. Using Paradise Green and Wolf Dark Brown, I'm gonna be painting on the base of his overalls. I sponged it on and it gave me the perfect green that I was looking for. It's also giving me that dirty overall look because Jason is not clean. He's really dirty from running around and just killing everybody. Now using this dark brown from my Morphe palette and one of my kabuki brushes, I'm just randomly adding some of that brown eyeshadow all over my overalls to kind of blend in any sponge lines that I could have left behind and to kind of give it more of a smoother look. Using this lime green shade, I'm also going to be just dabbing it on to give it more of a green highlight. Alright guys, so using my Wolf Black, I'm going to be painting on now my overalls. Because it doesn't look like overalls, so I need to make them look like overalls. So that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. I'm making my overalls look like they actually have sleeves, and I'm also going to be painting on a pocket. Now using the same brown eyeshadow that I showed you guys earlier, I'm going to be adding some shadows to my overalls to give it more dimension because right now they're pretty flat looking. Okay, so I had to stop adding some shadows to my overalls because I really just wanted to paint on his white t-shirt that's underneath his overalls because it was just annoying me, and I just had to get that out of the way so I could continue adding some more shadows to my overalls. Okay, now I could go back to adding more shade to my overalls. Now what I'm doing now is I'm just adding some more shade on the seam of my shoulders, and I'm also going to be adding some shadows to my pockets and just adding shadows wherever I feel needs a shadow. I'm also adding some black shadows along the seams of my overalls to give it more dimension, and I just didn't want to just use brown shadows. I kind of wanted to use brown and black to kind of make the overall stand out more. Okay, now I'm using Tag Gray and I'm painting on the buttons, and this was actually pretty cool because now it's actually starting to look like overalls. Now I'm just highlighting the buttons with a silver metallic face paint. Now I just felt like I needed to darken the seams just a little bit more. So that's pretty much what you see me doing now. Now I'm just adding some shadows right underneath each button to give it more dimension and make it look like the buttons are actually sticking out of the overalls. I'm also adding a really light shadow right underneath the t-shirt to make the t-shirt look like it's actually on top of my skin. Using a light brown paint, I'm just randomly dabbing on the light brown paint to my skin just to give it more of a dirty look before I start bruising up my skin. I'll be using the Mayron bruised makeup wheel to just start randomly adding some bruises all over my skin. Now, everybody's been punching and kicking Jason around so he doesn't kill him, so his skin is pretty much bruised up badly. I also started to bruise up the skin around the eyes, and I wanted to whiten up more of my lips because they were pretty much faded from all the coffee I've been drinking. I'm also going to be painting on the designs on the mask using my global red. This is one of my favorite reds. And I'm just going to start to add the designs on the cheek and the holes all over the mask. Now I noticed that the mask wasn't big enough on the forehead, so I'm just making the mask a lot bigger and just adding more white. Okay, now this is the part where I realized I wasn't even recording. So by the time I realized I wasn't recording, I already had done pretty much all of the holes on my Jason mask. So I pretty much started to darken my eye sockets. Now, if I could go back, I wouldn't darken my eyes anymore. I would just leave it, my eyes bruised up looking and just darken the outer edges of the holes a little bit. But what I started to do is I got some black eyeshadow from my Morphe palette and I just started to darken up the whole eye sockets. I'm also darkening up the designs on the mask. And with a sponge, I'm just dirtying up my mask with reds and browns and blacks because Jason's mask is pretty damn dirty. I'm also painting on the big old gash that somebody made on his forehead. And what I'm also going to be doing is I'm going to be adding some scratches on my neck, just randomly wherever I feel needs a scratch. And using my global red, I'm just going to be adding some blood to that gash, and using my Ben Nye fresh scab blood, I'm going to be adding some blood right on top of that gash, make it look more realistic, I'm going to be adding some of that scab blood on my neck, adding some of that blood on the mask, just on random places. Now, I also wanted to add some of this scab blood all around the edge of the mask because this mask has been on Jason for such a long time that it's digging into his skin. Now, I got some red paint on my overalls, but I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm going to splatter some red paint everywhere to make it look like blood anyway. So I just started adding some like gashes of blood all over my overalls to make them look really bloody and dirty looking, and splattering some paint, red paint all over my overalls. And that's it, guys. That's how I painted my Jason. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and please subscribe. Bye, guys.